happy friends, Even Star here, and you're back in the shed at Hancock's House of Happy. And it is, it's 2 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon, a very warm and sunny afternoon here in the UK in Essex, and I'm so excited, right? And yes, because I'm not having coffee today, I'm having this. And I don't know if you can see this very well, but it's purple. It's a purple fizzy liquid. And I'm going to ask you all a question here before we get into the meat of the video today, which is to tell you all about Space Week. That's exciting. So Animal August is over and Space Week is starting. But I want to ask you a question first, and that is, where you live, what does purple taste like? Because growing up in Canada, right, purple tasted like grape. You knew that if you bought a purple drink or a purple candy or a purple cake or a purple jello, purple anything, that motherfucker was going to taste like grape, right? And I loved grape as a kid. That was like my favorite flavor of candy. So, fast forward several decades, I moved to the UK when I was 25, and the first couple weeks I'm there, I take myself down to the local supermarket, and because I was 25 and I could still eat candy with no consequences, I got myself a bag of Skittles, right? And the purple Skittle is my favorite Skittle. So I leave them all to the end, and I had this big handful of purple Skittles, shoved them all in my mouth at once, and I swear I almost just threw up, because in the UK, purple does not taste like grape at all. It tastes like this really horrible, pointless fruit called blackcurrant. And I don't even know if a blackcurrant's real. I've seen red currants and white currants, but in the UK, and I think in a lot of other European countries, anything purple, it is blackcurrant flavor. And I absolutely loathe blackcurrant flavor, because I was expecting grape Skittles, and they weren't grape. They were this other really weird flavor. And that's kind of when I realized what I got myself into moving to another country, because it has been literally 20 years since I've had, this is grape-flavored soda pop. Yes, and I loved grape-flavored soda pop when I was a kid. Like, it was my favorite flavor. And I don't know, so if you're Canadian, or I don't know if this counts in America as well, there was a soda pop brand called Crush, and it was usually like Orange Crush or Grape Crush or whatever Crush. I think the equivalent in the UK is something called Fanta. And for whatever reason, I think possibly, the cross-pollination of North American culture into European and English culture has finally happened to the point where they brought out this summer grape soda. And I'm so excited, right? I'm literally drowning myself in this stuff, because I've had things like this happen before, where European or United Kingdom company, they've come out with something that's like kind of like something from home, but it's like limited edition, or they only try it out for 6 months and it disappears. So I'm really excited today. I'm having a grape soda. Awesome. So I'd really like to know, like, where you come from, or where you grew up. Like, what did purple taste like? Did it taste like grape? Did it taste like blackcurrant? Or did it taste like some other fruit? Let me know. I want to know, right? So today we're celebrating Space Week. Yes, we've got a whole week of free cross-stitch designs celebrating space and space exploration. I am a little bit of a science geek and a space geek. I loved astronomy and physics and things like that when I was growing up. I didn't go into the sciences. Well, I went into computer science, but it's not quite the same thing. But no, I love space, and I love space news and things like that. So if you remember last week, we had the sexy Russian space gecko. It was sort of a sort of part of my love of space and space science. Is they took geckos into space, to do experiments. Without further ado, let's look at what's coming up for Space Week. So starting on Monday, and conveniently, Monday is September the 1st, so happy White Rabbit Day. There is this beautiful floating astronaut, and here in the image, excuse me while I scratch my eyebrow, I've depicted it on a black background. You could stitch this on white fabric, but I just thought, sort of lonely little astronaut, like lost in space. Like space is so vast, and I think this image like really captures that really well. And I think there's some nice little details in there as well on sort of the piping on his or her spacesuit there, and on the sort of little controls on the chest. So that one is coming on Monday. Tuesday is a design that I wrestled with, and I think I put the sketch up on Instagram and I think the Facebook page as well. And it's one of those ones where the idea is sometimes better than how I can execute it, right? So I had this idea, sort of started out as like a pun or a play on words for Saturn, right? Saturn, you know, planet with rings. So I thought, well, what if it was a cat with rings around it? So that's where this idea came from, but I'm not sure if it's so successful. I don't know. What do you think? You know, let me know. Sometimes I'll come back to a design as well, and maybe I'll think of a way to improve that design or do it in a different way that gets the same idea across. So I might come back to the idea of cat planets, but for now all you got is Saturn. Wednesday is a lovely, really simple sampler for the beginner cross stitcher or even the advanced cross stitcher who just fancies a break or a really quick gift to make for somebody. I think this would make a great addition to a kid's room. And the inspiration behind this is I actually have from my childhood still a wall hanging thing, and unfortunately I was kind of dumb and I didn't bring it with me today, that my best friend in high school bought for me. I think it was for my 14th or 16th birthday, and it actually does say just visiting this planet with a bunch of crazy planets and comets and things on it. So I wanted to sort of pay tribute to that in a way and turn that into sort of a cross-stitchy design. And this is like really simple blocks of color. There's not any sort of backstitching or outlining in here. It's just a really quick and simple design. I think anyone who loves space, or maybe, and the reason my friend got me that wall hanging was I was a little bit quirky, and probably still am. You know, if there's anyone who's a little bit quirky, or you suspect, you know what, I bet they're a pod person from outer space here to study us, this would be a perfect gift for them. Thursday, we're going a little bit retro or vintage with this sort of vintage, I wouldn't call it mid-century or retro, I'd call it sort of more of an ultra-modern design, the sort of like 1940s and 50s, like Buck Rogers, sort of Flash Gordon rockets, sort of really, you know, they look like Airstream camper trailers, just sort of that really sort of slick aerodynamic rocket, just on a little black background. This one's also really super simple. So I just thought, you know, some of the other ones are sort of quite, you know, modern looking, sort of very, you know, 21st century space. I wanted to like look at, you know, how did people think space travel was going to be, you know, before there was space travel. I think this kind of captures that a little bit. And then on Friday, I love this design. It turned out better than I could have hoped, and it is a little sort of Mars rover robot on an alien planet somewhere, sending signals back to Earth and taking rock samples. And in the background you've got space and a sort of a green planet, which could be like Venus, I suppose, in the background there. Sort of a more scientific. I really like the way the treads on the rover sort of hug the contours of the planet it's sitting on. I think it like gives it a lot of life. And this is a full coverage design as well. So it's the only full coverage one we've got this week, but that is, you know, the whole thing is stitched. Even the black background is stitched because there's some really subtle dark colors in there. So those are all the free cross stitch charts coming to the website next week. And if you are a Patreon, you get your 1st September exclusive coming out next week as well, and it is this cosmic galaxy globe. This was inspired by, I think I saw this on, I think it was actually a shower curtain somewhere. I get inspiration from like the weirdest places, you know, I go to the DIY store and there's like a shower curtain there, and it's got a picture on it that I go, oh, that'll make a good cross-stitch design. But it was more with the solar system on it, and for the size I wanted to do it, that wasn't really going to work. So I thought, well, I'll do a little bit of a galaxy background there, maybe a nebula, maybe some planets. And it's in this sort of, you know, the traditional sort of school spinny globe format, but instead of the Earth, you get space. So this one was like, it'd be really fun. It's sort of like a magic globe. You could kind of like step into that if you wanted to a little bit. So if you are a Patreon, you'll be getting that next week as well. And it's only $2 a month to be a Patreon, and you get 3 exclusive cross-stitch designs per month, like this one. So if you fancy that, I'll leave a link somewhere here for you to go and subscribe. So that's all the news from me. I will be talking to you again at some point next week to tell you what's coming up on the website. So next week is Space Week, and the week after that is Coffee Week, and there's some really cool designs coming up for Coffee Week, as well as another exclusive Patreon. So if you like free cross-stitch designs, or, you know, Hancock's House of Happy cross-stitch designs, remember to like and share on your favorite social media platform. And also remember to tell you, what does purple taste like where you live? I really want to know, right? What does it taste like? And until next time, I hope you're having a great week and a great day, and I'll see you later. Bye.